Hello folks, in this video we're going to be taking a trip up Timberwolf Mountain without using any ropes. That's right, without using any ropes. And first of all, I'd like to give a shout out to Fargan Icehole. I found his videos on YouTube and they gave me an idea of how to start. But for the most part, it was an awful lot of exploration and dying. There is one place to start, and obviously one place to finish, which is the summit. But it's a question of getting there. For this video, I've included clips from, I think, 3 separate attempts, and one segment without the go play in it is from Fargan Icehole himself, who's kind enough to let me use it so that I didn't have to kind of delay putting up this video. I've since I've made this video, I've completed the climb a couple more times. But there was a segment in which I accidentally forgot to record. Since I use Go Play software, it records 10 minutes at a time, and if you don't hear the sound of the recording stopping sound, then you will, obviously miss a section, and I missed a pretty important section. And I'll mention that again when we get there, but in order to get up the mountain without ropes, you're going to have to climb some pretty steep things, go in directions you don't expect would work, and generally keep holding yourself to the left to the side of the mountain so you don't fall. At least I did out of sheer fear, because I'm not good with heights on a good day, whether in real life or in any computer game. So, as you can see, it's up near the engine and just beyond the cave, climbing up onto these rocks. And we're going to continue up this snow-covered rock here. You have to find the right angle of attack. So I'm just holding a walk the entire time and just kind of lining myself up right. Yeah, so this was completely right from the start. A Pilgrim start, Timberwolf Mountain, and right from Faden had a really good start. I mean, I'm right here, so I didn't have to travel anywhere. So you're basically holding to the left and forward, and you're just kind of edging up to the edge and making sure you stay up on the ledge here. You can see the engine down below. And forward and to the right, and then back to the left. If you do it too soon, you end up kind of going back to where you started. You're just doing enough to get around the corner and not fall off this ledge. You're always trying to line yourself up and get yourself kind of as high up, right up against the edge of the mountain as possible. And then you're going to drop down to the snow below here on this ledge and continue around to the left. Once again, you're keeping as much to the left as possible. You don't want to accidentally get knocked off to the side. And down below this rocky outcropping, and as you can see, you can just continuing to follow this ledge. Carefully edging around this rock here so you don't fall off the mountain. And once again, carefully. You can't I cannot expend enough words to tell you how careful you have to be. Especially right here. You're making sure you're aligned as high up as you can possibly be. And you go straight across here. And since I'm going up to the summit anyway, I'm gonna take painkillers from ankles so we're not gimpy all the way out. If you get stuck here, don't worry about it. Just make sure you edge to the left and up, and you'll be aligned for this next ledge, which is the middle of the 3 ledges you can see. You can't get higher, you don't want to get lower. And you're going to continue up and around here. Down and to the right, you can see the circling crows by the deer carcass that you might have passed earlier just to get up here. So you're holding to the left and straight. And you're going to go up this slope of snow, which doesn't seem like you would be able to climb it, but sure enough you can. And keep following it around to the left. You're just following around to the left, keeping as high as you can. Always holding left. There's actually a ledge kind of below me that you can see right now that you can kind of drop down to. See? And then you keep going forward and to the left. And you'll scramble up over the edge of these rocks. You're just trying to stay as high as you can. You're gonna go forward and to left around here, and this area becomes slightly more familiar. I'm gonna go up over the edge here, up onto this snow, and there's the tail section. So basically you just kind of keep going up and to the right and to the left until you get over this snowy rock. It might take you some time. Don't freak out. It only takes about, once you're good, I'm sure it'll take about, 15 in-game minutes to get from the top of the mountain to the bottom, or thereabouts. So you can't go straight up and to the right. As you can see, you have to go to the left. Now you can go up. You go up towards this little ledge that we're getting closer to here. And you're gonna climb your way over this ledge. And then you're gonna climb over this. You're gonna keep heading up and to the right. Up this rock over here. You can see you get pretty close to the tail section in this first segment. You're just trying to get over this ledge right here. This ledge is a bit finicky. I don't quite get high enough. And now I do. And then I get stuck on the other edge. So you have to kind of, it's a little bit fiddly. Don't give up on it. And up we go. On this ledge you can make a fire, and you can rest. You can warm up because you're sheltered by this rock. And once again, I'm taking painkillers because I don't want to look gimpy all the way out. And I started with an MRE, which is really awesome for once. So you're going to head to the left. You can see it transition to another video clip. The goal here is to stay as high on this rock as possible, and it's easy to fall down. See? So I decided to go back and realign, which is the safest thing to do, but it's possible to get back up without necessarily get around the corner without necessarily having to go back and realign. But I want it to be safe. So you're edging to the right while holding forward, and then you're gonna just keep yourself aimed toward the mountain. You're going forward and to the right and then to the left to hold on to the rock. And now we're around the corner. You want to get up on this snow and stay as high as you can. You need the height. So take any opportunity you can to get higher, even if it doesn't necessarily work like it did in there. It did here though. Went up a little bit. Once again, I'm staying as close to the side of the mountain as possible. And I'm just going up and to the left all the time as I go forward. You're basically rock climbing, which is not something you're supposed to really do in the long dark, but it's possible. It's possible to skyrim down, and it's possible to rock climb up. It just takes a long time. So we're making our way around the mountain. To our left, and as we go to our left, we will eventually see something familiar just from a completely different point of view than we're used to. So we're heading to around this corner, and see those trees? Those trees are actually a very familiar location for anyone that climbs Timberwolf Mountain. And I'm not going to say where it is until we get there, but it's a familiar location. There, you can go up here. This will give you a bit more height. It takes a little bit of doing, but you might as well. Once again, the more height you can get, the better your chances are of being high enough when we get to where the trees are. It's really important to try and be high and to maintain your height, because the transition to the area with the trees over there is not easy at all, and certainly not guaranteed. You're going to end up dropping back down some anyway. But you're on a shelf with snow here. You're going to follow that all the way to the end, as far as you can. And you can see another ledge, so drop down carefully. You're going to edge around the side, stay as high as you can. Here we go. Crouching down, very carefully edging around to the right, and then get up onto this next shelf. There we are. We're getting closer to those trees. We're climbing, skirting around the edge of Timberwolf Mountain. And once again, I'm staying as high as I possibly can. I dropped down a bit more than I wanted to. I actually wanted to stay above this snow, and I don't know if I was able to get back up. I was. Okay, so that's totally doable. Getting really close to where those trees are. You can be lower than this at this point and still be just fine, because you're going to end up going to the snow-covered ledges much lower down than we are right now. So if you're not able to take this high path, don't give up. Keep as high as you can and make your way over towards this giant rock that we're coming up to now. As you can see, I dropped way down. Technically speaking, you cannot get on top of those on top of this rock. So your only option here is to go down the mountain. I chose to try and get some height back up, but it's not possible to get up onto this rock that's in front of us. You just can't get the height. So you have to go down. I'm just looking for any possible way to gain more height, but it just doesn't exist. So now I've realized that this is my first time through this section, in case you're wondering, in this video. So we gotta drop down. I have no choice but to drop down. And we're going to drop very carefully, because we don't want to fall off the mountain. You can see the ravine down there. It's a long way to fall. I wouldn't want to. So I'm gonna hug the cliff and go forward and hold to the left, and you're just kind of shimmy across the cliff face. You're cliff climbing, rock climbing here, and you're staying as high as you can. I just dropped down. There's a ledge right beneath me. Now I drop down a hole between the two ledges, but this is okay. You're supposed to do that. You gotta stay as high as you can. I'm trying to get more height here, desperately, but I'm good. As long as you drop down onto this rock right here, you're fine. And you're gonna come out. Oh, of course, I got a sprained ankle right at the end. You come out on a very familiar place. You've seen that view a lot if you come up Timberwolf Mountain. This is, well, this is the secluded shelf. You've just come up an entirely different route to get there. So we have found the secluded shelf, and we're going to do the easiest part of the climb right now by heading through the cave. So as you can see, I'm definitely using a different attempt on this one. This was an attempt where I climbed my way down and then worked my way back up. Anyway, this version of me has plenty of supplies, so we're gonna head on up through this cave. Obviously, if this was his first time through this cave, he would be picking up all the coal. I think I've probably still got some coal. But you can go whichever way you want, obviously. I would have gone the other way to check for more coal and check for the guy's corpse for supplies and stuff, but I've already done that with this character. And the main reason why I had to make this video out of multiple attempts is because there was only one attempt where I did make it all the way up. Well, no, there's been a couple since then, but unfortunately in that one I forgot to record certain sections, or certain sections came out a lot better, or the weather was crap in some of the sections, and I wanted you guys to be able to see where I was, so you didn't get freaked out. It's like, why did you use a recording when there was a blizzard? Because I was dumb. You know, so I wasn't gonna do that to you guys. That would be cruel. Since you're not using any ropes, you can pick up all the wood you want along here. All the coal you want. So this segment right here, and a little bit of the next one, or section of the segment, I should say, this cave is familiar. There is no way that I know of so far to just continue like climbing from secluded shelf up to the area after this cave and then up to, you know, the summit without using this cave. But, you know, I might do some more research and collude and talk with the Fargan Ice Hole about it. But I just don't think that the mountain is designed to enable that sort of climbing. This segment of cave has to be used in order to make it up the summit without using any ropes. So now we're gonna head in the direction that most people would normally head in, and we're going to head towards the little small cave with the backpack on to start, and then we're gonna verge off to the right. We're gonna divert up over here. You can also go to the cave and get supplies and then come over in this direction directly from the cave, but I'm taking a more direct route this time since I got really good weather. And I'm just thinking about having good weather for the final part of the climb here. So the objective in this section here is to get as high as we can on this slope before we head to the right. So it's a matter of going forward and then edging to the right and to the left and going up a little tiny fraction of the time. It's a little bit fiddly, as it usually is when you're going places you're not supposed to go. But generally, if you go up a little bit and then back to the left and further up, you'll eventually hit the sweet spot, like we are now. And we're going to cut across just below here, and then we're going to head straight across this ledge, this steep, slopey side. We're going to go just below this giant rock that's in front of us. You want to maintain your height as always. So, just below. Keep holding forward and to the left, aiming yourself kind of into the mountain. And if you do that right, you're going to hit these rocks exactly where I hit them. Boom. Go up here. Make your way over, and then you turn and go up this incline, and then holding forward and just edging slowly, right, left, forward, right, left, forward, get up over the top, get as high as you can. Weather's starting to turn, and just keeping as high as you can. Edging around this rock. You want to get on top of this little black rock down here. We're good. Dropping it. And go forward. Forward some more. Go along a little bit, then aim. Just around here. Boom. And you're just going forward and to the right and to the left until you move up the rock. Once again, slow and fiddly, you're just looking for the right place. It's here somewhere. There we go. Your objective is to get over this to the next area of the climb. It's a bit fiddly. It can take you a wee while. Sometimes you get high enough and you can get up on the snow and then go straight over, but I didn't on this occasion. I had to fiddle it around. There we are. Alright. So, yeah, I did, well, I must be up to 3 or 4 complete climbs now. But some of them were done in atrocious weather, so I couldn't share those segments. And then the segment coming up here, you'll notice an extreme shift in the weather and in the in the sun. We had. I couldn't use this next section from this recording because blizzard blew in. So I want to thank, before it even gets here, Fargan Icehole for allowing me to edit in his portion of this climb. Here in about 30-40 seconds, you can't miss it because he doesn't have a Go Play logo in the top of his recordings, and he has a beautiful sunshiny day on top of that. So you're trying to get as high as you can in here. Fargan Icehole makes it look easy, but I have a bit more trouble with it. I'm not able to get as high as I need to. I'm too low. And unfortunately, I drop off the rock. But that's not a disaster. Just watch what I do. And you'll be able to get yourself, back on schedule real quick. I found it. This is a very easy way to do it. You just go to the right. You're going up and to the right. And you're going around this rock, and then you climb up this slope. And it puts you way up there. Right where you need to be. So thank you, Fargan Icehole, for this wonderful sunny day. You'll also notice that all of my videos don't have the breath effects in because I've got the disabled breath effect mod running. I might take that out. It's great for screenshots, but it kind of ruins the coldness immersion factor. So as you can see, you're moving up to stay as high and as close as possible. Fargan Icehole's done this a lot more than I have, so he's a lot more confident in his moves. And you're getting on top of these rocks. And you're going to stay as high and to the left as possible as you go past this rock. Get as high as you can. You're going to look right up the mountain, as Fargan Icehole's doing here. This actually enables your character to get a better grip on the rock face, if you will, and he's actually climbing up and to the side, because you need to get up onto this ledge right here and get as high as you can on this ledge. Right up in it. You don't necessarily have to sprint. He was doing a speed run, but you need to get on top of this
Can't do much with that hand until my wrist heals up.
To the right and then back to the left really fast. It's easy to drop down at this point. Very easy. It's annoying as well. You're trying to stay as high as you can. You'll drop down here. Don't worry. You're holding up and to the left, up and to the left. This will get you back up onto this ledge. And then you'll be able to go or climb around this cliff and get on top of this ledge. If you're able to stay up this high, you are doing just fine. You're always staying as high as you can. Always stay as high as you can. Let me tell you, there's a great deal of exhilaration when I came around this corner for myself, even though the weather was crap. Getting up onto this ledge, always up and to the left as you go forwards, leaning into the mountain. And here we're back to a different clip of mine. Same location. We're going to drop. We're going to try and stay up but just looking up and to the left, crawling around, climbing along the cliff edge. We are way higher than we actually need to be, but it's better to be way higher than to be too low. And we're gonna try and carefully drop down onto the snow here, even though I've already got a sprained ankle. On this one, you just edge around it to the left. So forward and to the left. Well, forward and to the right, and then to the left. And we're gonna drop down and end up on this ledge. Ooh, look at that. There's the plane, the plane, the plane. You know, fucking Icehold told me I don't forget to yodel. I'm not much of a yodeler, so yodeling, for those of you who are wondering, is a form of singing where you're transitioning between throat sounds and sounds that come more down from the chest area. And instead of covering up the vocal break, the break in the voice like most singing is about covering it up, yodeling is actually celebrated. So it's why if you listen to a yodel, you'll hear it go from high to low to high to low, with a yodeling, yodeling, oh, kind of thing going on. And there's lots of different phases in yodeling. I actually looked it up before I made this video to see if I could, you know, kind of do anything. But it's like, you know what, this is silly. So that little mess I just did, that was my yodel. Hope you enjoyed it. And, you know, I'm just doing what I would normally do if I came up to the summit. Just came from a little bit of a different direction. We're check the two bodies, and then we're going to head on inside. You can follow Fargan Icehold on YouTube. He's the one whose videos inspired me to even attempt it. And he actually informed me that there's another kind of route in case you fall down the cliffs a little bit too much before the end, and he's going to kind of intentionally do that so that we can see that route as well, so that if we do fall down too low like I often do, we'll be able to still make it to the summit even with that kind of fall. This character didn't have a hatchet. Let's get this fire fired up. So anyway, you know, this was a fun challenge. I figured it out mostly by myself, but once fucking Icehold uploaded a more complete video, it just kind of confirmed the direction that I was already taking my character, and what I had already thought would be the correct route. So thank you to Fargan Icehold. It's awesome to do it. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.